Hello, and welcome to the Basics of Dynamic Drill presented by Air Force ROTC Detachment 105. In this video, we will cover everything you need to know to begin some basic marching. This video assumes that you already know the basics of static drill and performing a forward march and halt. Today, we will cover line formation and column formation, and we will demonstrate the difference between flanking movements and column movements. We will begin by explaining line formation. Cadets should always fall in line formation, shown here, unless otherwise specified by the flight commander. After the flight commander calls fall in, cadets will then begin to fall in from back to front and right to left. Spacing between cadets on all sides should be approximately 40 inches. For most cadets, this should be 1 arm's length plus a hot dog. This diagram demonstrates the proper order that cadets should fall in, with the arrows representing which way the respective group of cadets should be facing. Note that the element leader should be the first 3 cadets to fall in, covering off of the guidon bearer, and that the rest will fall in from back to front and right to left. Now that we've covered the basics of line formation, we may begin to learn some basic marching. From line formation, the flight commander may change the direction of the flight by giving the command right flank, march, or left flank, march. For a right flank, the preparatory command, right flank, is given as the right foot strikes the ground, and the command of execution, march, is given as the left foot touches the ground. On the command, march, cadets will take one more step before pivoting 90 degrees on their left foot in the same manner that they would if they were performing a static facing movement. Note that during the pivot, there should be no arm swing. After performing the 90-degree pivot, cadets should step off with their right foot. Let's see this in action. A left flank is performed in the same manner as a right flank. This time, however, our preparatory command, left flank, is given on the left foot, and the command of execution, march, is given on the right foot. This time, cadets will pivot 90 degrees on their right foot and afterwards step off with their left foot. Again, let's see this in action. We have now covered flanking movements, which are called from line formation. However, line formation is not the most practical formation to march because after 8 or 9 cadets, the flight becomes too wide. This is why typically we will march in column formation. To get to column formation, simply perform a right face. After being given the command, right face, the guidon bearer will move to the front right corner of the flight directly in front of the 3rd element leader. Alternatively, to fall into column formation, a flight commander would call in column formation fall in. From column formation, the flight commander may change the direction of the flight by calling column right march or column left march. To perform a column right, the preparatory command column right is given as the right foot strikes the ground. The command of execution, march, is given as the left foot strikes the ground. After the command march, the innermost element takes one more step and then pivots on the opposite foot to turn a full 90 degrees. This element will take half steps until the rest of the flight catches up. The rest of the flight will continue until approximately this pivot point to turn. The middle element will therefore take one more full step, pivot, take one more full step, and pivot again. The outermost element will take one more full step, pivot, take 3 steps, and pivot again. Each cadet and each element should pivot at the same point as the person in front of them. Let's see a column right in action.
Sure. Right.
Last but not least, we have a column left. The preparatory command, column left, is called on the left foot, and the command of execution, march, is called on the right foot. The column left is performed in the same manner as column right, except this time our innermost and outermost columns have changed. Let's see it in action. Today, we covered line formation and column formation, flanking movements, and column movements. Thank you for watching.